Do you know, my friends, that the so-called Vipassana does not ask you to use this know-it-all brain to meditate inside? Because you are still using your cognition to analyze, and that is not official cognition, which is the essence of judgment.
He and the official are not in the same dimension, and Vipassana is not strictly speaking looking inward.
It's Vipassana. A lot of people like to go around looking for answers in order to get better.
But meet a lot of people who are more confused than themselves to get a lot of answers.
The result is a busy more confused that want to become better heart. Can it be understood that I do not accept the moment that the moment is not good enough, which is the heart pan yu anzin? Delusional thinking that you reject your current life experience to experience what you should not experience will be very annoying. Like trying to live someone else's life and comparing everyone else's life to your own. If you keep thinking this way, you are rejecting it from your subconscious mind.
Disconnecting from one's own world naturally leads to a loss of contentment and gratitude.
I also lost the nourishment of the world around me, followed by the emptiness of China and Japan. Not having power is like eating grapes and thinking about watermelon. As a result, not only will the watermelon lose the grapes, but it will instantly become tasteless.
So how does the annoyance come from simply saying that you're doing one thing while thinking about another? Your brain is constantly judging and opposing, so you have to go back to the present. Savor the taste of the grapes and accept the appropriate match and gift. That's it, and there's only one reason you can't close it, and that's because you haven't been completely glassed out of your mind. Let the main body of this official appear while the ancient poetry will let you in the mood.
Allow rebuke to the Master Wand, and in this is to let this official the main body.
This is the part of letting your divine will flow in the present moment that makes vision possible and is most likely to ignite your emotions. It's what you need to break through the most. Your experience is the answer to confronting your emotional stain. Find the stubborn idea behind the stain point. The stain point is when someone else's idea collides with yours. There's no matching spark.
Imagine if you didn't have that standard. Or elastic, or whatever it is that you can tolerate so that no one else can throw a stone at you.
Let you splash and remember you want to be the observer of your mind.
Take that idea out and look at it from the outside and ask yourself, is that really the case?
Could you switch the angle and remove the standard so you can make me feel?
I think the shift is that I see what I'm feeling, and I see what I'm thinking.
You're just gonna make me think he's wrong, and I'm right, and I think it's bad.
I think I had the bad luck to turn all that feeling into seeing that I had a thought.
I saw an angry thought that thought it was bad.
Think I'm unlucky. You see, you are not your thoughts, and you are not your beliefs and judgments. You are now aware of the independent, complete freedom of all this.
All your negative emotions are energy flowing through your body, and their source must be your thoughts.
You don't have to doubt that nothing in this world can cause you painful emotions.
It's your judgment and your thoughts about what's happening, so it's not really our emotions that we have to work on. We don't need the so-called emotion management, because emotions are the result of what has already happened. You're betting on this outcome like you're betting on nothing. And the place where you really need to put effort and practice should be where you start every new thought. Every time you have an automatic reaction, you are looking at it, and that is Vipassana.
So how do we find the mental obsession behind our emotions that we know?
Under different leaf force mechanisms, different minds are generated to correspond to them.
It's the emotional energy of the different vibrational frequencies that come with it, the more negative the energy.
The lower the vibration frequency of a negative energy, like low self-esteem, the vibration frequency of a negative energy like, say, 40 kHz. On the other hand, the more positive the energy, the higher the vibration frequency.
For example, the positive energy of self-confidence can be as high as, say, 1000 kHz. So when we are in a life situation, suddenly automatic repetition is constantly rising in the mind. A particular obsession then in your body will constantly produce a particular wave of energy that is transformed from that obsession.
And the more you cling to the thought, the more the energy will continue to build up. The stronger that is, the more intense and turbulent your emotions will become.
It is your obsession that has once again succeeded in dominating your body through the weapon of emotion. Being your master makes you once again the depth of that pain if you're Vipassana at this time. To be able to unfold in the midst of this painful process is, of course, a very fortunate thing.
But notice if your Vipassana work simply stops at seeing the flow of emotions in your body. I saw my unconscious behavior under the domination of emotions and did not find it sincerely.
And confront the obsessions behind your emotions and the leaf force response that gives rise to those obsessions. It's just like you're not feeling well.
You can know exactly how uncomfortable you are, but what is actually causing your discomfort. And you haven't found it yet, so you can't solve the problem, and you can't solve the problem at all.
And that's a problem that a lot of people face when they actually just see it. The emotions you're falling into are aware of your unconscious actions that are out of control. But you haven't been able to dig deep enough to get to the actual source of these emotions, the precursor of the emotion that triggered you. Which is when you automatically force angry thoughts to think, and this is when. Once this mental activity is outside of your awareness, then it will make you think that it is you.
It will make you unconsciously identify with it, and then you will be dominated by the emotional energy that is transformed by this side. What if you can't see the thoughts behind your emotions? Okay, don't worry about it. Please accept it first, and don't make any conclusions or judgments about the results.
Then you try the following method, the most honest memory, and write it down. All the things you say when you're in an emotional state, if you're alone and you're just suffering in silence.
It doesn't matter that you're not saying anything and you're just trying to let yourself go with what you're feeling, okay? Mumble and mutter to yourself and let what you want to say come out naturally.
They are the thoughts that hide behind your emotions. They are the most real thoughts in your head.
They are the ones you need to see and observe and not reject and fear meeting them.
Because this is the only way for you to solve the problem a friend may ask just by observing the obsession behind the emotion.
Is it really that simple? Okay. So let's just assume for a second that you've been able to quietly and unobtrusively observe the obsession behind your emotions. Now let's look at this brief second of your existence as an observer. What is really going on that I think almost everyone is unaware of?
For one brief second, you are completely calm for 1 second.
Your consciousness comes back because you go from being a miserable thinker to being aware that there is one you are thinking about.
In this second, you are no longer you, because the previous you is being observed by you in this second.
In this second, you go from being the thinker to being an observer of the thinker. You see in a higher dimension a version of myself that knows I am thinking emerges.
When you become my observer, it is the embodiment of you transcending the mind, and transcending the duality. When you begin to appear in your life 1 second at a time, then you are a person who is on the way to awakening. Don't give the word awakening so many esoteric definitions or put all kinds of isms on it. Awakening is actually very simple and pure, is to awaken from the illusion of the mind.
That's all.
I've been telling you what to do.
Is it too easy for you?
You don't want to believe it or do it because you think you see it, and you don't do anything about it. Well, how can that work? You have to do something to be solid, like you have to analyze and solve problems, right? Not until you finally agree with what you agree with. You see, it's called social inertia. Once you analyze and solve, it means you have to decide what is right and what is wrong. But then it falls into habit and it falls into duality as long as it's dualistic.
Is the thinking as long as the thinking is the mind you did not easily from the head out of the brain? But the mind doesn't let you off the hook and you're right back in the rut. Instantly you lose consciousness again, but you are unaware of the fact.
Your obsessions don't need to be addressed, analyzed and resolved.
This in itself is a big delusion that you just need to see and be aware of. The process by which you become aware and observe your obsession is the process by which your consciousness arises, in the words of Wang Yaming. That's what you're doing to your conscience when you break and attack that Wang Yaming told us about. The knowledge of good and evil is conscience, and conscience is omnipotent. You just have to do one thing, and that's deal with your social habits and deal with your automated responses. When you come out of habits and inertia, naturally, you are in good governance, and then conscience will naturally guide you. Nature will let you know when we quietly observe the obsession behind the emotion. As an observer, what is Lin going to do in the present moment?
It's about bringing the sensation back into your body or letting your attention be with your body. For a while, why do I emphasize being with the body? Because it's just your body.
Always the most loyal to the present. Have you ever seen the mind in the present, while the body runs to the past and future?
So if your attention is focused on the body, you must be living in the present moment.
You must be thinking outside the box and thinking outside the box.
You let go of your obsession. How do you keep your attention on your body?
The easiest way to do that is to close the breath, because the breath happens inside the body. And breathing is dynamic as long as you give your full attention to the breath. And let your consciousness follow your breath so completely that you are with your body.
You just stay in the moment, and the breathing itself is a dynamic meditation. When you clearly see the obsession behind your emotions,
you will immediately return to your body with your amputated limb and enter into this dynamic meditation. Don't leave the mind any time to judge or react. How to do this is simple. It's just slow. Deep breaths 7 to 10 times, and notice that you are using multiple breaths where your stomach bulges as you breathe in. The key to making your stomach deflate when you exhale is to focus your full awareness on the process of breathing. Let the sensations follow the gas into your body and out of your body and in and out again. You can even say, "I'm not my body," as you breathe in, and "I'm not my body," as you breathe out.
I'm not my mind.
Focus on the speed at which you breathe out and in at the same time.
When you have successfully completed a vipassana, you have completed a withdrawal from the violent negative emotions. When you settle in your body again, you will find that you are still in pain and irritability.
The moment has returned to calm because you are about to lose control. Even if you hit that crucial break, all you have to do is grasp and appreciate the peace. Go ahead and do what you're supposed to do. That's called doing what you're supposed to do.
You can do at least a few things.
It makes you feel happy right away, doesn't it? Remember that a person is free if he can actively control the focus of his attention at any time. Is to truly live life to the full and free level of life, so thank you so much for seeing this. I hope you find it inspiring, and I'll see you next time.